Hi, Jed from Cook Culture. So today is another day, another lunch. So today the request has been onion tart. My wife gets a hankering for things sometimes, and it's just best to make it sooner than later. If I go for multiple days, she just focuses on the one thing, and it's best to just make it quickly, satisfy her craving, and we all move on. So I say that jokingly, but there's a bit of truth to it. So I asked my wife to get some groceries, and she does a tremendous job procuring all the food for me to make great food. She's like, hey, how about I buy some things in bulk? I'm like, great. So we got a whole bunch of kale, which is great, put it away. We got some other nuts and so on and so forth. And she's like, a bag of onions, do you need onions? I'm like, yeah, I need a bag of onions. So she got me a bag of onions. So I've got to figure out what to do with onions. So onion tart. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a chickpea flour and almond flour. This is dehydrated almond meal from making almond milk. It's all chunky like this because that's just what it looks like when it comes out of the almond milk bag. But we're gonna put that into a blender with some flaxseed, and that is going to be the beginning of our crust. So we're gonna have crust, we're gonna put in some coconut oil, we're gonna put in almond meal, almond flour, the chickpea flour, flax, a little bit of sugar, and then some ice cold water, and we're gonna make a dough, and we're gonna make that dough flat, or a pastry. We're gonna make it flat. We're gonna cook down some onions, nice and simply, chop up a bunch. We're gonna do it with some tofu. So we have tofu and onion. We're going to flavor that with some thyme, and basically put that meal in, lay it flat, fold the crust up and over, and make like a big type tart or a galette, and we're gonna bake that off. So here we go. Okay, so we've now got the tofu whipped in the Vitamix with the thyme and some salt, and it looks a lot like ricotta. So what we're gonna do now is throw in some garlic. Get a full clove in there. We've already got some salt in there. Just give that a mix. Some nice crushed garlic. Okay, so that's gonna now sit and wait. And over here, we've got a lot of onions cooking down. This is gonna take some time. I've had them on to start sweating them so they soften all the way through. So there's quite a bit of water happening down here. In a few minutes, I want them to soften more, so I'm gonna leave them on here with the lid on to sweat them, to get them soft and to release a lot of their liquid. And then I'm gonna take the lid off to allow all that liquid to boil off. If I was to just cook it without the lid on, it would cook from the bottom and not on the top. You need to have a lid on this one. So a big pan like this one, or doing this in like well, you could do it in anything. You do it in here with a lid on it. You could do it also really well in a stove cast iron. That would do exactly the same job, and beautifully. So medium heat, let it sweat, get it to a point that's got lots of liquid in it, and then we're gonna take the lid off. But in the meantime, we've got quite a bit of time to wait for this. This is probably gonna take another half an hour with that many onions. So in the meantime, we're gonna get our salad prepared. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a really simple broccoli, grape, soaked, softened goji berries, and finely diced onion with a sweet a sweet tamari dressing. So we'll get that prepped up and then make the salad dressing. They're starting to get to the right point. All the liquid is out now and they are really nice and soft. So we don't want to burn them or brown them too much, but we do want to start getting a little bit of color. So we're just going to give them a little bit more time. These onions are really moist, which is really great because they develop lots of yummy flavor. But we'll just give them a little more time, but a lot of the liquid started to go. So this is the time to really start to keep an eye on it. But our salad is starting to come together. So we've got some diced onion, grapes, our broccoli. Now we're gonna make our dressing. So we're gonna do a nice sweet tamari dressing. Wonderful umami in that tamari. So we're gonna do probably 2 tablespoons of tamari to 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Nice balance between those flavors. We're gonna do some mustard, probably a teaspoon of mustard, apple cider vinegar for 1.5 tablespoons, and then olive oil to top up, probably 3 tablespoons of olive oil. On it goes. Wipe my hands so they're not slippery. In there. Now, depending on how you want your oil and your acid, it's going to be thick or it's going to be thin. This is a thin dressing. It goes well over this. I find this is nice with a thin dressing instead of it being overly creamy. It's different to me than like a kale Caesar salad where it's really nice to cover all of the kale. Here I find the vibrance of having the acid with the apple cider vinegar and the depth of the tamari is really nice in a thinner dressing. So I've chosen a thinner dressing. So we'll have that ready to go. Our onions are starting to brown on the bottom. And that's going to be ready to go into the tart. So we're going to turn the heat down on this now, and then we're going to roll out our pastry. Our dough, been in the fridge for a while, so it's just like any other sort of pastry dough. So we're going to start rolling this out, nice and slow, but as always when dough comes out, you know, it cracks and it's cold and you start working it and it starts rolling out. But why we put it in the fridge is so that it doesn't turn into mush as we're using it. So I'm using a buckwheat flour here as my rolling flour. I just find I like finishing with buckwheat. It's like a little bit granular and it allows things to just stick less. Okay, so start getting some shape out of that. And there. And we're gonna grab our bench scraper. And we're gonna try our best to get it over one more time, just to make sure we have enough flour on the bottom. Start pushing that out. Being a little bit too aggressive, it's starting to break a little bit. I'm going too fast for it. Also, what we can do, I'm just gonna let that sit for 1 sec, and we're gonna throw in over here our tofu mixture in with our onion. Just wanna warm it just a little bit. Get on top there. Okay. So, we're gonna just work it where it's a bit fat over here. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna grab a silpat. I'm gonna transfer this dough onto a silpat. And we're gonna then use the silpat to move the entire thing onto this tray, and then we're gonna bake it. So we're gonna get as much as we can. As you can see, it's starting to kind of come apart in different places. We can easily just repair that. Just push it back together. Not a problem. Little bit of working without gluten. You have to just kind of be understanding of the dough. And I've kind of pushed the dough a little bit too fast. I should have be going a little bit slower, but not a problem. Okay, so now we have this guy coming on. So those are gonna come out. We got a bit of caramelization going on there. And we've got our cream on the bottom, and we've got our thyme, unhappy pan. I find our induction stove talks to us a lot. I'll turn that off. Okay, we're just gonna get some thyme on there. Okay, so there we go. Now we're gonna start to lift. You know what, I've got a fair amount. I can kind of go out a little bit more just so we're not so thick in the middle. And then we're gonna just kind of come up and over, roll up and over the edge. So I've made galette before that I've posted, very similar. So that all just rolls in on itself. Pull that tight, up onto there, and like so. And you could always grab just a little bit of salt and go around the edge. All right, so now that's gonna go into a 375-degree oven for about 40 minutes, but we'll check it in about 25. So this guy has been here for upwards to about 35 minutes, and he's now getting nice and brown. So he's ready to come out. So it's solid, it's cooked, it's browning, everything's nice and soft. And it smells tremendous. Our camera lady is telling me that. So mimicking quite a lot of eggy with the tofu that looked like the ricotta. It's definitely cooked up. The onion and everything is nice and held together. So we're gonna give this probably around 10 minutes just to harden a little bit now that it's come off, just to cool just a little bit. And I've dressed the salad. So we've got the broccoli, onion, and grape salad with the tamari, sweet tamari dressing. And then to who is gonna want it, we've got some soaked goji berries that are gonna go on top. And this could also probably take some nuts. So I'm gonna see what I've got around. Walnuts would be really good. I think I've got some pecans. Yeah, lots of different types of nuts would be really good in there. So I'm gonna probably put some of those in just while we're waiting, and then we'll serve it up. Okay, so we've got this all done and plated. There's our onion tart, our broccoli salad, and we've got ourselves a little taster here who's gonna let us know how it is. Go for it, my boy. So consistency a lot like an egg there with the onion.
Exactly like egg.
Tastes like egg? So it tastes like an egg tart with onion. Yep, and broccoli salad tastes a lot like broccoli salad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. All right, so yeah, this is made 6 pieces, so it's gonna feed 6 people. Nice big broccoli salad, and nice and simple. So easy to put together, easy to compile, easy to bake off. I hope that that works for you. Thanks so much.